It was great. It really was. It was a small town, small county, and like I say, you couldn't ride down the street. You're waving at everybody. I mean, you know everybody you see. Back then, you know, you go downtown, and it didn't matter whether you had your pocketbook with you or not. If you saw something you wanted, you tell it, would you lay that away for me? Or, I'll take it now, bring me money later, that type of thing. And now, locals, we can't even get downtown. It's very hard. But I think the rapid growth is what has caused the problems for this county. You went down the end of King Street, turned left, and within 2 blocks you were in country. I mean, there was nothing. There was no 312. There was no US 1 South was 2-lane. There was a brick road that went out to the river. You go out King Street and you were on a brick road to the river. And everything was just so much simpler. And I think everybody realizes how complicated things have become now. Like I say, we saw the growth coming, and that's why we wanted, we put in new wells. We made it, updated all the sewerage system, new sewer plant, and we closed St. George Street. That was very controversial. George Street at one time was a 2-way street, and then it was a 1-way street, and then we decided to close it because tourists were coming, but they were walking in the street, and St. George Street was ugly. It had, it had all the telephone lines hanging down, and it was an ugly street. But anyway, they had little teeny narrow sidewalks on either side, and everybody was walking in the street, and there was just too many tourists. It was starting then, so we realized we had to have a street where a main thoroughfare for tourists, and it seemed like making a walking mall out of that street was the easiest thing. They could go from the city gates all the way to the plaza. So I've seen the city and the county grow apart in leadership, and I think that goes back to not knowing your constituents and knowing your everyone seems to be on the commission for their own term. They've got their own agendas. Everybody's got their own ideas, and it's not a collective idea. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not like they've discussed it and come together on it. It's everybody's got an opinion, but they don't want to get them all together. Well, as you can see, the roadways, the traffic, you've completely changed downtown. Locals feel like it's all tourists now. We have no place to park. You can't go downtown. It's really I love to bank in the Bank of America downtown, but to get as close as I am, to get over the bridge and there, it's only a mile and a half away, and to get there and to get back, my God, I'm gone so long. Downtown, it wasn't as much tourist related as it is now. We had dress shops, we had children's shops, we had, and you did all your shopping. You think of all the things that you buy at Walmart or any place else. You could buy all that stuff. All of it was downtown. We had on the St. George Street, we had Western Auto, we had the big Woolworths, we had McCarthy's drugstore. I think there was 3 drugstores on St. George Street. You had appliance stores downtown. You had the restaurants downtown. But everything you wanted, you could go downtown and get. Now, you go all over town to get the same things you could get before. Well, I remember when Jimmy and I first got married, the lots at St. Augustine Beach, Lopez begged us to buy them. They were $50 a lot. buy some of these lots down here. And we didn't have $50. By comparison, you think now what you made and what you made. There was no way. You scramble for a nickel or a dime. But we couldn't afford it, but they kept saying, buy these lots, $50 lots now. Locals are about, 10% of the population now. 15 probably, percent of the population. Everyone else has come in. The only thing we're really lucky about, I think, is everybody that lives in St. Johns County is here because they want to be.